Hello again. Today we are going to discuss together Lesson 2 in Unit 2, and we are going to continue our talk about history. So the discussion for this unit, history can teach us anything. History can teach us anything useful. Discuss. Do you think this statement is true? Personally, I don't think so. Because history can teach us a lot of things. History helps us learn from our mistakes. History provides an inexhaustible source of examples and modes of life that in turn provide helpful insights. Ultimately, it enables us to make better decisions. Descartes once said, "He who does not learn from history is destined to relive it." In short, history helps maintain a sense of identity. It is society's collective memory of past events. Today's lesson is about an article about Orkney Islands. So what are Orkney Islands? Orkney Islands are located in the northeastern coast of Scotland. The islands encompass Neolithic Stone Age sites, tall sandstone cliffs and seal colonies. The heart of Neolithic Orkney is a group of 5,000-year-old sites in mainland and the largest island including Sakara Brae, which will be mentioned in today's article. It's a preserved village with a reconstructed house. This village, the Sakara Brae, in 1850 it was exposed to a harsh winter and a disaster came. So what is meant by disaster? A disaster is a noun which means a great harm, damage or death or serious difficulty. Please say it with me. Disaster, disaster, disaster. Excellent. Harsh, harsh, harsh. This village, Sakara Brae, had a harsh winter. Harsh is an adjective which means too strong or unkind, cruel, harsh. This harsh winter was a turning point in the history of Sakara Brae in Orkney Islands. What is meant by turning point? A turning point is the time when something starts to change. Turning point. So, as we said, today's lesson is about Sakara Brae. This is the title of the article, Sakara Brae, A Window on the Past. Sakara Brae is thought to have been inhabited between 3200 BC, before Christ, and 2500 BC. It is the most complex Neolithic village. What is meant by Neolithic? Neolithic refers to Neolithic Age, the Old Stone Age. It is the final division of the Stone Age. During that time, people first started farming and stopped being nomadic, marking the beginning of villages and towns and the way of life that we understand today. So, as we said, Sakara Brae is the most complex Neolithic village found in Europe. Its discovery was of great historical importance as we have been able to learn a lot about the everyday lives of the people who lived at that time. We have learned that they made furniture and other household goods and used stone to do this. Sakara Brae also shows that people lived in close communities and reveals details about their social structure. In 1999, Sakara Brae and other important sites to the island's west, which together are referred to, as we said when we talked about Orkney Islands, they are referred to as the heart of Neolithic Orkney. They were designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now let's start reading. The Orkney Islands off the northern coast of mainland Scotland, face harsh winters with heavy storms. So where are Orkney Islands? They are located off the northern coast of mainland Scotland. They faced harsh winters with heavy storms. They faced two strong winters with heavy storms. In the winter of 1850, such a storm hit the southern shore of Bay of Scale, marking a turning point for the island and its heritage. The storm removed layers of grass and sand from a hill on the beach at the Bay of Scale, and the outline of buildings became visible. This led to the first excavation of the site, and the remains of 4 stone houses were revealed. So, how is this harsh storm was significant or important for Orkney Islands? It marked the turning point for the island and its heritage. How so? The storm resulted in great damage. It removed layers of grass and sand from a hill on the beach, and the outline of buildings became visible. So, what remains of this village was only 4 stone houses. The remains of 4 stone houses were revealed. We said that the village faced harsh winter. What is meant by face? Face is a verb which means to deal with. Please say it with me. Face, face, face. Heritage, heritage, heritage. Heritage is a noun which means traditional beliefs, clothes in family or society. Heritage. Layers, layers, layers. Layers of houses were revealed in Saqqara Brae. A layer is a noun which means a level of material or a thin sheet of substance. Layer. Outline, outline, outline. Outline is a noun which means the main shape of something without the details. Outline. Visible, visible, visible. Visible is an adjective which means able to be seen. Visible. Excavation, excavation, excavation. Excavation is the noun and the verb is excavate, excavate, excavate. Excavate is a verb which means to remove earth that is covered in very old objects buried in the ground in order to discover things about the past. Excavate. Remains, remains, remains. Remains is a noun which means parts left after something is destroyed or disappeared. Remains. Now let's continue reading. The site remained in this condition from 1868 until 1925, when another storm uncovered more structures. So the village had to deal with, the village faced 2 harsh storms. The second storm led to another excavation, a second excavation. So a second excavation took place between 1928 and 1930 and brought the village to its present state with 8 houses linked by winding tunnels, probably used by villagers to get from one house to another without going outside. So what was the outcome of the second storm and second excavation? Yeah, the village became in this state, only 8 houses linked by winding tunnels. Okay, in the 1970s, tests confirmed that the settlement is Neolithic and that the village used to be inhabited 5,000 years ago. After conducting some tests, the tests confirmed that the settlement, these houses, belonged to the Stone Age and that the village it was inhabited 5,000 years ago. People lived in this village 5,000 years ago. Winding, winding, winding. Winding is an adjective which means, for example, a winding path, a winding road, river, or tunnel repeatedly turns in different directions. Winding. Village, village, village. Village is a noun and a person who lives in a village is called villager, villager, villager. Confirm, confirm, confirm. Confirm is a verb which means to prove something is true or make a meeting certain. For example, tests confirmed that the village was inhabited 5,000 years ago. Tests proved that it was true that people lived in Saqqara Brae 5,000 years ago. Confirm. Settlement, settlement, settlement. Settlement is a noun which means a place where people come to live or the process of settling in such a place. Settlement. Inhabitants, inhabitants. Inhabitants is a noun which means residents. An inhabitant is a person or animal that lives in a particular place. Inhabitants. Now let's continue reading. The houses and most of their furniture are very well preserved because the villagers used to build with stone instead of wood. So why the houses are in such good condition? Why are they preserved? Because the villagers used what? They used stone instead of wood when they built their furniture and houses. Okay, the houses were approximately the same size and shape, and most of them had the same basic design. So this is the description of the houses. All the houses had almost the same size and shape and design. There was one room with a fireplace. This is how the houses are furnished inside. There was one room, how many rooms? Only one, with a fireplace in the middle, where villagers would cook their food and stone beds on either side. However, two of the buildings are different. What are they? House 7 is a building with its own entrance, which locks from the outside and is detached from the others. People have suggested that this building was either a jail or the place where women used to give birth, but nobody really knows. So, house number 7, house 7, how is it different from the other houses? We said that the houses were almost the same. They were approximately the same size and shape and had the same basic design. But house 7 is different. So what is the interpretation behind this difference? Maybe it was different because it used to be a jail, it used to be a prison, or the place where women used to give birth. But nobody really knows. Okay? How is it different from other houses? It's different because it had its own entrance, which locks from the outside and is detached from the others. Another house is also different from the rest of houses, is house 8. House 8, on the other hand, was probably the place where the inhabitants would gather together. Maybe it was a place for gatherings. House 8. Preserve, preserve. Preserve is a verb which means to keep something as it is, especially in order to prevent it from decaying or being damaged or destroyed. The houses in Saqqara Brae, they were preserved. They were in a good state thanks to the stones they were built with, okay? Preserve. Detached, detached, detached. Detached is an adjective which means separated. Detached. Suggest, suggest, suggest. Suggest is a verb which means to mention an idea, possible plan, or action for other people to consider. Suggest. Jail, jail, jail. Jail is a noun which means prison, a place where criminals are kept to punish them for their crimes. Jail. Gather, gather, gather. Gather is a verb and the noun is gathering. A gathering is a party or a meeting when many people come together as a group. Gathering, gathering, gathering. Let's continue reading. While the purpose of these buildings is uncertain, Saqqara Bray's biggest mystery is why the inhabitants left the village. One theory says that they left suddenly due to fear of a natural disaster. Another simply suggests that Neolithic life began to change and younger people migrated to different areas to live and work, leaving only the older villagers at the settlement. In time, they passed away and Saqqara Bray fell silent. So why is this village, why Saqqara Bray is abandoned? Why there are no residents or inhabitants in it? Okay, there are two theories. The first one suggests that this is because of a fear of a natural disaster, maybe another harsh winter. And the other theory suggests because of migration, because younger people, they migrated, they left the village and went to live in different areas for work, for example, and only the old villagers, only the old people stayed in Saqqara Bray, and in time these old villagers they died, they passed away, and Saqqara Bray fell silent. Okay. Purpose, purpose, purpose. Purpose is a noun which means why you do something or why something exists. Purpose. Uncertain, uncertain, uncertain. Uncertain is an adjective which means not sure, not known or fixed, or not able to decide about something. The purpose of Saqqara village is uncertain. Nobody really knows. Theory, theory, theory. Theory is a noun which means general principles or ideas that are suggested to explain something. For example, the two theories suggested to explain why Saqqara Bray is empty, is abandoned, why there are no residents in Saqqara Bray. Theory. Migrate, migrate, migrate. Migrate is a verb which means to move or travel to a different place, to live temporarily. Migrate. Migrate is the verb and the noun is migration. Pass away, pass away, pass away. Pass away is a phrasal verb. It is a polite expression to say die, rest in peace. Pass away. Now let's practice. The words in bold are wrong. Write the correct words. 1. Ruins at Saqqara Bray were discovered in 1868 and 1928. No, they were discovered in 1850 and 1925. 2. The first excavation ended in 1930. No, it was the second excavation. 3. Tests confirmed that the village was inhabited in the 1970s. No, the village was inhabited 5,000 years ago. 4. The inhabitants built with wood? No, they built with stone. This is why the houses were preserved. They are in good state today. 5. The word another in line 34 refers to another history? No, it refers to a theory. It refers to another theory. Complete the sentences with these words: confirm, face, migrate, preserved, visible, and winding. Number 1. There is a path next to the site. There is a winding path next to the site. Excellent. 2. People had to difficult living conditions in the past. People had to face, they had to deal with difficult conditions in the past. Good job. 3. It is amazing how well these old buildings are. It is amazing how well preserved these old buildings are. Great. 4. Much of Cairo is from the Al-Azhar Park. Much of Cairo is visible. Much of Cairo can be seen from Al-Azhar Park. Good job. 5. Archaeologists can the settlement was very small. Archaeologists can confirm, they can prove the settlement was very small. Excellent. 6. People would often from one place to another in the past. People would often migrate from one place to another in the past. Good job. Now complete the word groups. We have here inhabitants, millennium, remains, settlement, and theory. Okay, 1 we have relics, which also means ruins. Can you find in the word groups here another word, another synonym for relics or ruins? Yes, remains. All these words, relics, ruins, and remains, they can be used to refer to buildings and other physical things that have been partly destroyed. 2. Decade and century. Yes, millennium. All these words, decade, century, millennium, they all refer to periods of time. Decade refers to a period of time of 10 years, century refers to a period of time of 100 years, and millennium refers to a period of time of a time period of 1,000 years. 3. Idea and suggestion. Theory, yes, all these words, idea and suggestion and theory, they all have to do with thoughts and ideas. 4. Residents, villagers, inhabitants. All these words, residents, villagers, and inhabitants, refer to people who live in a particular place. 5. Community and neighborhood. Settlement. All these words, community, neighborhood, and settlement, they all refer to places where people live together. Millennium, millennium, millennium. Millennium is a noun which means a period of 1,000 years. Millennium. Century, century, century. Century is a noun which means a period of 100 years. Decade, decade, decade. Decade is a noun which means a period of 10 years. Now complete the sentences with these words. 4 prepositions to be more specific. In, of, on, to, and with. 1. The discovery of pot led a full excavation. The discovery of pot led to a full excavation. 2. We associate these seas with pirates. 3. Storms resulted in the destruction of the site. Storms resulted in the destruction of the site. 4. What did you base your theory on? Based on. 5. The chief didn't approve the changes. The chief didn't approve of. Approve of. 6. We are not going to pay further research. We are not going to pay for. Excellent. Associate with, associate with, associate with is a phrasal verb which means to make a connection to your mind between one thing or person and another. Associate with. Lead to, lead to, lead to. If an action or event leads to something, it causes that thing to happen or exist. Lead to. Result in, result in. Result in something means to cause a particular situation to happen. Result in. Base something on something. Base is a noun, and base something on something is the verb. If you base something on facts or ideas, you use those facts or ideas to develop it. Base on. Thank you.